Hello everybody. In this video I'm going to be talking about some ideas from physics and also how they can be applied to real life and just in the realm of the psychological and the emotional. And well, I came to this conclusion or these ideas because when you're on the road, if you're a person that drives or rides a vehicle, you know that you can go straight, right? And basically when you go straight, it's pretty clear cut, it's simple. You accelerate, you're confident, and you keep going straight, right? There are times when you need to brake because you hit a red light or a stop sign, um, or you get to a red light or a stop sign. And then there are moments when you need to make turns, right? Park and all that type of stuff. But what was really interesting to me are curves, right? Because curves, in a way, demand for you to decelerate, to hit the brakes, but not so much, right? So there's a constant, they call it negotiation. You need to negotiate the curve between your speed, right? The way in which you're making progress and going down the road, and also avoiding collision, right? Avoiding for the car to either turn or for your vehicle to basically crash or hit the side, right? The sidewalk or the wall, whatever is on the other side, right? Now there are a couple of ideas here. The first one is centripetal force. And I came to this because I was thinking to myself, like, what is the physics behind all this, right? And centripetal force comes from the word centripetal, which centri means center, and pedal means to look for, right? Like when we say some examples of this word in other areas are like petition, like when you're looking for that which you want, right? Like there's a petition to raise awareness about whatever, right? So petition is like centripetal, like pedal in this case, where you're looking for the center, right? And this type of momentum, we could say, applies when you hit a curve, right? And you're negotiating the curve. When you hit a curve, there's still a centripetal force, which is the one that you're looking for in order for you to successfully take that curve, right, while you're riding your vehicle or driving your vehicle. So it's interesting because this means that you need to find that balance, right? Now the other one is friction, and friction talks about the phenomena or the phenomenon between your wheels, right, the tires of your vehicle, and the ground, right? So as the tires are rolling, there's friction, there's constant friction with the ground, right? Where you're basically, you could say that in a way that causes you to move forward, but it also causes you to slow down because of the friction, right? Um, so there's another idea, which is inertia. So inertia basically means that inert, like an inert body, excuse me, means that it's not going to do anything. But it's beyond that, and it basically means that it remains unchanged. So inertia is what's going to keep you moving forward even when you don't want to move forward, right? When you need to make that adjustment or bend that corner, right? Or I mean, take that curve. Inertia is what's going to make you move forward. Now, going a little bit back to centripetal force, centripetal force is present when you take the curve, but it is also always present. Even when you're going straight, ChatGPT was saying that there are some minor adjustments that you make even when you're going straight, like maybe you want to avoid hitting something, or so those little type of small changes that you make even when you're going straight are still thanks to centripetal force. Now inertia is what's going to want to keep you going forward even though you can't because you need to take a curve, right? And this, you need to change it, right? So the inertia needs to be changed, needs to be modified a little bit, right? And that's the negotiation that you do with the tires and the road, and also with your brakes, right? Now I'm gonna get into I'm going to get into something right here that I found to be very interesting, which is called weight transference. I'm going to ask you this question and I want you to think about it, maybe pause the video and tell me what you think. Now, there are two moments in a vehicle: acceleration and deceleration. Acceleration is when you move forward, right? And deceleration is when you hit the brakes, right? So you can stop. Now, weight transference talks about where the weight in the vehicle goes or leans towards. It could either lean forward or it could lean backwards, right? Or backward. Now, if you accelerate, does your weight move forward or backwards? And when you hit the brakes, when you decelerate, does your weight move forward or backwards? Think about that, right? Okay, now what I thought was supposed to happen is that when you accelerate, the weight goes forward, right? It's logical, it makes sense. Where does the weight distribution, or where is the weight distributed when you accelerate? Forward, right? And where is it distributed when you hit the brakes or you decelerate? Backwards, right? But that's not true. It's actually vice versa. It's the other way around. When you and just imagine yourself in a car that all of a sudden accelerates. Where's your body going? It's not going forward. The car is going forward, but you're going backwards, right? You're gonna be like taken aback, right? And when you hit the brakes, where does your body go? Like, let's say you're in a car, they're driving very fast. All of a sudden, they hit the brakes. Where's your body going? Your body's going forward, right? And that's the weight distribution. Now, this is important because let's say you're riding a motorcycle or a bike and you hit the brakes, right? And you can even see this when people will, accelerate and they'll like throw their bike back or their motorcycle back, right, to pop a wheelie. Or when they decelerate, they hit the brakes and they do kind of like the death kiss, right? And this is important to know because that's where the control is, where the force is. That sounds like Star Wars, but where the force and the weight goes, that's where the control is. So if you hit the brakes, or if you're starting to hit the brakes like on a curve, that means the weight is going to be in the front, right? And you're basically going to want to control the front, right? Not the back. For instance, when you accelerate, it's in the back, and it makes more sense because you accelerate when you're confident, when you see the road is cleared, and that way you can just kind of like relax. Even though after, I would say a couple seconds after you accelerate or decelerate, after you go forward or you hit the brakes, you're gonna go back into that balance, right? Like, let's say a car accelerates, you go back, and then you're eventually in the centripetal, right, where they say you're looking for that center, for that balance. The same thing happens when you push forward, right? No, the same thing happens when you brake and you go forward. See, it is easy for those two to get confused, but eventually after a while, again, you'll hit the center, right, and you'll be back to that balance. So I thought that was pretty interesting, right, because it just seems counterintuitive, but that's actually the truth. Now, why am I talking about all this? All of this from the get-go, I was like, this could probably be used as a way of doing some type of metaphor or analogy with life and decision making in particular, right? Now, I asked ChatGPT, and ChatGPT gave me some ideas like centripetal force is like focus, it's your values, it's what drives you, it's your motivators, right? And then like friction and inertia are like the obstacles, your inner conflicts, or your or just in general like the problems and the issues and the challenges that might arise. And some other ideas for like the weight transference, but I was kind of like, I'm not sure about that. I think it's pretty clear cut. When you're uh, accelerating in life, right? And think about this. I can ask you this, and you can leave this in the comments. Where is your car, right? On the road of life. Where, just imagine you're on the road of life and your car is your life. Where's your life right now? Where is your car? Is it moving ahead? Is it going through? Is it going uphill? Is it going downhill? Are you making progress? Are you taking a curve? Are you bending a corner? Are you changing direction completely? Are you actually driving backwards? Is it broken down somewhere in the middle of the road? Is it at home somewhere, stationed, not really doing anything? You know, where is your car in life? And taking a curve, I think, is very poetic because everybody understands the notion of changing directions in life, right? You're moving forward, but all of a sudden, that's not where I want to go. So I'm going to bend the corner, right? I'm going to make a change in direction. But taking a curve is like you're still going down the right path, but it's like making a little adjustment, right? And obviously you can think of it like this. Well, ChatGPT gave me this idea, but I think it is true. When you decelerate, you're focusing on, you're making a pause, right? You're reflecting, you're focusing on the potential problems, you're analyzing, right? Maybe you're doubtful, maybe you need to really check what you're doing, which is different from when you're accelerating. When you're accelerating, you're confident, you know you're going to make progress, and then you just push right ahead, right? So this has to do with life. Basically, it's a metaphor for life. What are you doing, right? Are you accelerating? Are you decelerating? Are you moving forward and making progress, or do you need to take a pause, take some time to reconsider things, hit the brakes a little bit, right? And where is your car in life, right? I think that's something that you can talk about so you can get a better grip on your life, but at the same time, it's something that you can also talk to people about because that will help other people picture your life in a new light, right? Like this metaphor of a car, the road, the friction, the weight transference, right? The weight transference idea is kind of interesting because it talks about how you may need to shift control between two opposites, right? Like the front and the back. But yeah, that's all I got for this video. So let me know what you think about this. Do you think physics applies to psychology and decision making and personal growth and personal development, or is it just out there, right? So let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, peace.